Hello and welcome back to the Edinburgh Watch Company YouTube channel. My name's Jonathan, and on today's video you've been asking us where have we been, what have we been up to. Well, we're going to tell you more about that later in this episode. So let's go and have a look at the first of these 7 watches, and what better place to start than the Oyster Perpetual. Now this watch we have recently got from a collector. It was bought back in 2020 when the watch first came out, and this watch has never been worn. This is the Oyster Perpetual 41, as you'll see here in the coral red dial, which is probably one of the most popular ones, but we've got an even more popular one coming to follow this one. But what a dial. Just look at this watch. It's absolutely beautiful. And in fact, this is the first of the coral red ones we've actually had come into stock. Those of you who are watching today, you know your Rolexes. I don't need to tell you about the nth degree detail behind them. It's more just about looking and admiring this in this beautiful dial color you get in the OP. Now, choices are silver, you have that lovely dark blue, you have the turquoise, you have the yellow, the red and the green, and the red certainly is quite some color for summer. So 41mm case size, 904L grade stainless steel, powered with a lovely automatic movement, accurate to within plus or minus 2 seconds per day. Very much a watch for all occasions. It's waterproof down to 100 meters, so you know this is one for going swimming with, just doing really everything you want with it. But it's a very, very strong construction as well. Mounted here on the Oyster bracelet, and you can see here it has the satinized, the brushed finish to the bracelet there, so it doesn't quite show the scratches in the same way the polished center links would. Nice solid clasp there, and it also features here the easy link function too. You can just see there my finger pointing at that there. Just makes it very, very easy to adjust. I'll show you on my wrist as well. Now, those of you who have watched our videos for some time will know that my wrist is an 8-inch wrist, so quite a big wrist, and this is probably the size I would have, but gosh, it rocks. It's absolutely beautiful. And you can see here how the bracelet tapers down from 20 mils to where it actually joins the clasp. And I think it's lovely. The other thing about it too, if I hold it up to camera here, you can see it's actually quite a slim watch as well. So again, this is something that will, you know, fit underneath your shirt cuff, but it really is quite a looker. So there we are. That's the first of our 2 Oyster Perpetuals. So this one in coral red is certainly a very, very hard watch to get. Now this also is an unworn watch. It was bought back in 2021, and gosh, what a color. It is absolutely beautiful. It's very hard. I don't think pictures do it justice. You need to really see it in the flesh, but a lovely, lovely watch. So this again in the 41mm, and those of you who know your Oyster Perpetuals will know that this model's actually been discontinued as well. Now, while the retail price is $4,850, they have rocketed up, of course, and that sort of association with the name Tiffany, the color of the dial, and of course Patek Philippe then brought out a genuine Tiffany dial model, and that pushed these prices up even higher. At one point they were literally, could be seen up to about 40,000, and whether they actually sold all that, I'm not sure, but they have since come back a little bit, so they are still significantly over list. But for those that want one, I think we'll be able to make this quite competitive for you. So stainless steel, 41mm, automatic, chronometer, accurate to within plus or minus 2 seconds per day, and waterproof to 100 meters. So while this traditionally, I guess, is the gent size, which is now discontinued, a lady could wear this size too as well. I mean, the bracelet would easily size down for you. And again, this one here on the Oyster bracelet as well. And yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous on the wrist, I must say. It's very hard when all these watches come in, just trying not to keep them all in a sort of private collection, but I guess that's one of the benefits of owning your own watch company. You can actually look at and enjoy these watches, and this one is, we've only just put it up on the website, having had it for a little while to have in the collection, but it's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful watch. So there we are, a choice of 2 highly desirable Oyster Perpetuals. So if that's something you'd love to have for summer, then definitely worth considering. I then thought I would bring you the Day-Date. Now, of course, the Day-Date needs no introduction. A watch that has been out for many, many years, and of course, classically as a 36mm watch. However, as you'll probably instantly recognize here, this one is the Day-Date II. So the 36mm traditionally was the size that we'd all know a Rolex Day-Date to be, but of course as the market demanded a bigger watch, Rolex listened and they created the Day-Date II, and of course the Datejust II as well in 41mm. So it's certainly more substantial than the current 40mm, and this is now discontinued and is in a very, very popular watch. Finished here, as you can see, in 18 karat yellow gold with a champagne dial on it there, and it's got the hour markers on it with the lume on it as well, and of course that classic day and date functionality. Now this watch was bought back in 2013. I actually bought it from the original owner, and we've just recently sent it away, and it's had a complete strip and rebuild. But even before we did that, the watch was absolutely beautiful and needed nothing more than a service and a very, very gentle polish just to make it absolutely perfect, and it is now ready for the next owner to enjoy. It'll last you the rest of its life, and it has a 2-year warranty on it as well. So the Day-Date, of course, made famous as being the president's watch, and for someone with a larger wrist, I think the 41mm is an absolutely perfect watch for that. Quite a thick case on it there, and of course this beautiful president's bracelet on it there. Now, being this generation, of course, the Rolexes have evolved through time, and you'll see here that the deployant clasp is actually thicker than all those of the older model, and even as I open and close it, it's still quite tight, just giving that impression of how little this watch has been actually used, and hence why the customer chose to offer this watch to us. So let me show you on the wrist. Now, like all of our watches here, this included is a full set watch with all of its original box and papers. So if you're looking for something as a special occasion watch, you've got a big wrist and you want just a lovely weight to it, then I think this is definitely worth considering. Automatic, chronometer movement, accurate to within about -4 to +6 seconds per day. Again, waterproof to 100 meters. A really, really good all-rounder. Many of these you see on the market have actually the rubies on them. This one doesn't. But anyhow, that is the Day-Date II. So we're now going to talk about a nice collection of Datejusts that have come in. So let's start off here with the Datejust 41. I remember when this model came out. In fact, I was across in Switzerland at the launch of this one. I mentioned earlier with the Day-Date II that Rolex wanted to create a watch for customers with a bigger wrist wanting a larger watch, and hence the Datejust II came out. That then got discontinued round about, I think, 2017, and this Datejust 41 replaced it. And it is an absolutely beautiful watch. Slightly slimmer, slightly lighter than the earlier model. And of course, this has the introduction of the new movement in it as well, which increased the power reserve from around about 48 hours up to 70 hours. But it is a beautiful slim watch to wear. It's one that has a dial that makes it big enough and easy to read, but you don't really feel it on your wrist, particularly with this model here that has the Jubilee bracelet on it. But you can see here the bezel, 18 karat, yellow gold, fluted bezel. The dial, classic black dial with the hour markers there with a luminous coating on them, and then you have the date window with a 2.5 times magnification. So the case of the watch is in stainless steel, and that's 904L grade stainless steel, and again this one's waterproof to 100 meters. And then here you have this lovely Jubilee bracelet. Now, through the years, these links used to be hollow, they're now solid links, and therefore you get a lot less play in it, and it's not going to wear in the same way as an older Datejust you may have. It also features here the newer class function on it too, and you've actually still got a protective sticker on this one. This one's actually a 2022 watch, and it's literally only been worn a handful of times, and of course the new deployant class there. And likewise, it also features here that easy link on it too. Let me just show you on my wrist. Just classic, isn't it? That classic black and gold combination. And there you can see the beautiful gold links and the Jubilee bracelet as it ties there into the fluted bezel. So I think that's a really good looker. This one we've actually got on the website as well, so please go and have a look, edinburghwatchcompany.co.uk. The photographs there, I've actually taken myself of the watch there, so you can see it in its glory, but a really, really lovely looking watch. Sticking with the theme of the sort of the bimetal color, we've also just managed to pick up this Wimbledon as well. Now this one here, in fact, is an unworn example. Now when I say Wimbledon, well, of course its official color is slate gray, but you'll see here that the numerals on it are in green, and hence its nickname, the Wimbledon dial. So again, this is a 41mm Datejust with the yellow gold fluted bezel and the yellow gold running through the Jubilee bracelet, and I think it's great value really compared to list, and it has the Jubilee bracelet there too. I'll show you that one on the wrist. I think there may be a couple of links. This might have been sized in the shop for the customer there, but just look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. There you go. I think we've got focus there for you. It really is a pretty watch, and particularly as the sunlight bounces off that dial, you can really see the slate dial coming to its best. So that is a really, really lovely watch, and again we've got some photographs on the website. This one here, probably I'm going to show you now, is probably the most popular one and probably the hardest one to get. Again, staying with the 41 theme, this is the stainless steel Datejust 41, again with that slate Wimbledon dial. And here you'll see the 18 karat white gold fluted bezel. It is an absolute beautiful, beautiful looking watch. And here, stainless steel running through that bracelet. So these ones are really, really good sellers. Again, we're always keeping an eye on price in the market now, just making sure we're as competitive as we can be. And this one in absolutely lovely, and this one's actually in an unworn condition as well. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? Let me just actually go and see if I can just compare two Wimbledons together. A little challenge for the camera, just look at that. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? So I think it really depends on if you're looking for that kind of all steel white gold look, or do you like that combination of steel and yellow gold. I think they both work very well. Sometimes depends, you know, what wedding ring you're wearing, what jewelry you wear actually with it. But yeah, two absolutely lovely looking watches. So I thought, well, for the last two, let's go and pick on perhaps a classic sports Submariner and then actually compare that to the new Submariner equivalent. So the watch I've chosen for you today is probably one of my all-time favorites. My first Rolex back many years ago when I was 23, which is a long, long time ago, was a Rolex Submariner. Now this wasn't available at that time, and I remember that Submariner, which was a black Submariner I bought, was £800. So they have slightly increased in price since then. But this one, as you can see, is best known as the Kermit. So stainless steel, black dial, green aluminium bezel, and this one is beautiful. It's actually one of the last of them. I think it's around about 2009. It's actually got the Rehaut dial on it, and that's that silver rim on the inside of the dial with Rolex written on it multiple times, and of course the serial number down at the bottom. But of course it's the 50th anniversary of the Submariner. The green aluminium bezel, of course, that rotates, and it really is a lovely, lovely watch. It's not the flat 4 one, which are even more expensive, but it's just a really pristine example. Now, when this one came in, we sent it away for a service, so that comes with a 2-year warranty on it, and it has all its original box and papers, and everything about it is just perfect. It has the Oyster bracelet here, and it has the traditional clasp there in sort of pressed stainless steel there, and you'll see when I show you the next watch how things have actually evolved through that. But I love the classic look of this. You can see here that the case lugs here are slightly narrower on this one than the Submariner that followed that, which has now of course been discontinued. The one I'm going to show you is the very, very latest one. But on the wrist, it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful watch. Case size on this one, 40mm, stainless steel. Again, being a Submariner, it's waterproof down to 1,000 foot. And this movement in this has a power reserve around about 48 hours. And accurate probably within about -4 to +6 seconds per day. So that's something, of course, when this went through servicing, it was put through its testing just to make sure that that performs to that standard. So the last watch, again, is the modern version of that, which is effectively known as the Starbucks. And I wanted to share this one with you here. Again, this is an unworn one. This one was bought in 2021 and is very much one of the must-have watches in the sports collection. And you can see how this watch has evolved from the original Kermit there. So this came out in 2020 when the Hulk was discontinued, and with the black dial, green ceramic bezel, and the new case design. So the previous model, the 40mm, had the maxi case here. Here you can see the lugs are slightly slimmer. They also made the bracelet slightly wider on this one. So the previous model, it was 20mm between the lugs, and here it's 21mm. But where you really begin to see the change is in the bracelet. So aesthetically, it looks very similar in that it's a sort of satinized stainless steel brushed finish to it. But it's the clasp that's changed here. You can see here a much more solid deployant clasp there rather than the pressed steel on the older model. And they also have that glide lock function as well. So we just gently pull the bracelet away from this and you can just slide it up and down to suit and then just clip it in. And on the wrist, again, an absolutely lovely size. Just perfect for me, I think, with a 8-inch wrist. And it works really, really well. And again, prices for these, they have softened slightly. I think we've got this one pretty competitively now. Again, it's still significantly over list, so we're not hiding from the fact, but you know, you've got to pay a lot of money to get these watches in the first place. But a really, really lovely watch. Let me just compare the two together so we can see new versus old. And there's no right watch. I think it's very much what is the right watch for you. But they are two absolutely beautiful watches. So there we are. That is our collection on what I thought I'd bring out with you today. So I spoke earlier about what I've been doing, where have we been, etc. And thanks very much for staying on board to listen. I guess I'm on YouTube. Some would say, well, hey, Jonathan's a YouTuber. I don't quite see myself as a YouTuber. I see myself as somebody running a business, and YouTube has been something I've very much enjoyed since I started probably around 7 years ago doing this. And it's something that we try to do literally around running the business, but meeting customers, buying watches, selling watches, and everything that goes around that has been our priority. But I guess I've kind of missed doing YouTube, and so many of you have written to me or phoned me up saying, hey, where have you been? What have you been up to? Well, the last video we did back in December, and of course that was our Christmas collection. But that on the back of that, we sold a lot of watches, and so January and February were looking a bit light. And I'm not for creating videos just for the sake of them. I want to do something that I enjoy doing, that I think you'll enjoy doing. And I love reading your comments, so please share your thoughts with us, because there's no point in us doing this if we're not doing the right thing for you. So please let us know in the comments, or drop me an email, or pick up the phone. If there's something you'd like me to try and do in our collection, then I'll try and do it for you. But I love doing it. Scott, who's actually behind the camera today, he's the guy that's putting these videos together and editing them for us. So a big thanks to Scott as well for what he's done. But we're trying to get some regularity now and get these watches out to you, maybe a video, as I say, ideally every Friday for you. So I say January and February was really busy. In March, we were getting, of course, all ready for the London Watch Show, which we went down to attend that. But sadly, that didn't quite go to plan. And I know many of you have heard about this across other channels, and I've stayed back talking about it, and I'm not going to talk about the detail today about it because I kind of want to put that in the past. But the thing that I remember most from this is the love from the watch community. I'm not talking tens, I'm talking hundreds of you who've written to me, emailed to me, asking how I am and everything. And I really, really appreciate that. I felt so humbled and so valued by what I do, the love in the watch community. And that's kind of in a way inspired me just to get back on YouTube and talk to you. But the main thing is this, is that it didn't go obviously as we wanted it to do. Yes, we had a very big theft there, but our insurance has now settled with us and we can now move on. And I think that's the important bit. It's not going to stop me doing what I do. And, you know, we had, fortunately, during that time, through the support of you all, had the chance to buy and sell many, many beautiful watches, and will absolutely be, you know, carrying on to do that. Since then, of course, when we came back, we had to, of course, go and restock. And again, we had lots of love and support from dealers. So my thanks to you, and those of you watching, you'll know who you are. And to our YouTube chums as well, the support and love they actually gave us was absolutely brilliant. So since then, we of course went to the Royal Highland Show, and that was great fun. I went there with two chums of mine, Scott and Jamie, and we had the chance to see hundreds of customers, and that was a really busy show for us. And then of course onto the Scottish Game Fair. So that's kind of us for the sort of external events, and we've got some lovely watches come back in, and now it's just about a bit of planning around the rest of the year, how that looks like, of course the build up to Christmas, but also trying to, you know, take some time off and enjoy things such as doing things with my dog Lester and the family and so forth. And that's kind of what we've been up to. So there we are. That brings us towards the end of today's video. Thank you for those of you who stuck to the end, for taking time to watch. Again, don't forget to leave your comments. Please click to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And please come back and join us soon, as I say, every Friday. Thanks for watching. Take care and have a great summer. Bye-bye.